All right, so just stepping into a new leadership role with so many seniors gone from last year's team, what has that been like for you in this offseason?
It's been really fun, honestly, just to be able to work with the new group of girls. It's just been such an honor to just be able to work with them and just get us to the spot we need to for season. So it's been pretty easy transition, just kind of coming from last year's seniors. I've been able to learn so much from them, and just having a great group of seniors this year also. It's just been easy to just work together to get what we need done at practice and off the field as well.
What's it been like getting prepared for just Big Ten opponents instead of Pac-12? A little bit different, more travel for you guys. Have you guys kind of been maybe preparing a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been great these past few weeks. It's been really cold, so Coach has been saying, it's Big Ten weather today. So I think we got for sure the temperature part of it, but like we said, we're not really worried about that. We don't want that to affect anything going into season, but I just think it's the same thing. We're practicing and prepping the same we would for Pac-12 and Big Ten. Everybody's good, and we just want to show the world that we're the great.
Coming off a Gold Glove year, how much pride do you take in your defense?
A lot. I mean, it's just fun to be out there. I just take pride in doing what I can for the pitchers and doing what I can for the team. So I don't even really see it like pride for myself, but just more every day, how can I step on that field and do it for the girls next to me.
You guys have a lot of freshmen, obviously, this season. Have any of them kind of stood out in your eyes, and just kind of what's it been like getting them kind of accustomed to what Oregon softball is all about?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them just have so much energy and bring so much to the plate every day. We have Emma Cox, who's a great catcher and honestly a really good leader as well for that freshman class. And I think also you're going to see great things from K-Dub at the plate. But honestly, all of them just have such good energy, and I think that kind of brings a little bit of youth to our team, and it makes it feel a lot easier going out on that field, especially when you get older.
Last year made some real strides at the plate, batting average up to 280, and the on-base percentage was a huge thing. Your walk rate you quadrupled the amount of walks you had from your sophomore year. You're walking a lot more. Was that something you made as a decision at the plate to try to be a little bit more passive and let those pitches come to you?
Yeah, I think it's just having a better approach at the plate. I feel like as a freshman, you don't know a lot. You're kind of just going in there trying to do what you do. And I think this past year it was just really kind of embracing the approach I want to go up there with, and I think that's just something that helped me increase my walks in the end of it. And I think overall just being able to have better pitch selection just overall will help me with my batting average and getting on base as well.
Paige, what does it mean to have somebody like Kai at the top of the order and everything that she can kind of do to get you guys off to a good start?
It's electric. Once you can get her on base, it just feels like all the energy is towards yourself, and I feel like our team just does a really good job at once we get that runner on, moving her over, and that's just something we've been working on at practice is getting that runner on. How can we get her to third base with less than 2 and then scoring her? So I think Kai does a great job at just getting on base for us, and then we can do the rest for her.
You guys were such a good hitting team last year, but you lose some of that power with Ariel obviously graduating. Do you feel like you guys are going to have to rely more on just getting the singles and the doubles to get runs, or how do you feel like you guys are going to adjust this season?
I think our team encompasses a lot of different qualities that you'll see this season. I mean, yeah, we have the speed, and we're probably going to rely a little bit sometimes on games where we can get those singles and moving them over. But then I think of Steph and Dez, who just have these big bats in the lineup that you're going to see those balls going over the fence just as you were last year with Ariel. So I think we have a really diverse skill set to use as we're going into season, which is exciting.
You might have touched on it a little bit there, but what stands out about this team? What makes it so different from previous editions of this team?
I just think it's the energy and the joy that we have every day we show up to practice. It's just such a blessing to be able to go onto the field and just play for each other, and I think just all of that is so cool to see, because last year I feel like it was hard to maybe get through some of the weeks, but each week we go onto this field, we're just so blessed to be able to go out there and grateful that we can do it with each other, and I think that's something that's just so refreshing to have this season.
Is there anything you're most looking forward to about this season for you, your final one, obviously new conference, anything in particular?
I'm excited to go back home. It's been cool to play all these different places, but to just go back to where I started playing, I think that's just so cool, and be able to play in front of my family who maybe doesn't get to travel as much. I think it's just so cool how it brought me back to Vegas in my last year, my senior year. But I'm also excited to travel to different places, going to Rutgers and New York. I just think it's going to be fun to just experience so many different things in different Big Ten culture, and I think that's something we're excited to bring to the Jane as well.
It's almost an entirely new group in the infield. How have you felt the chemistry between you guys develop on the defensive side on the field through spring?
Yeah, I think it's been great. It was always we had growing pains in the beginning, just trying to figure each other out and kind of the different ranges. I mean, we have a completely new infield, so I think it's been nice to just be able to work with each other and kind of communicate with each other to see what we all need. And I think that just honestly has brought us all closer to each other. And that's like been showing up on and off the field. And I think that's just so cool to have as an infield.
Ariel making the transition now on the staff, is it kind of weird to not see her suited up alongside you?
Yeah, it is definitely weird seeing her on the side, but she's just such a great mentor for me and so many of the girls on this team. So being able to have her stay in Oregon was such a blessing because I can go to her any day and just be like, hey, what'd you see on this, what I'm hitting, or even just like throws from coming from the outfield. She's just been so helpful for all of our girls, and I think that's just so cool that she can be back in her home.
What's sort of the expectation that you guys are setting for yourself ahead of the season?
Yeah, I just think we're ready to just go for it. I mean, we have nothing to lose, and we're like such a young group. Like, they don't expect us to do much, but like we know what we have skills-wise and power-wise, and I think we're just excited to go for it and get out on the field and just show all the practice we've been doing this past season.
I think you got to play in the Justin Herbert Celebrity Softball game. What was it like, to have that experience and have those guys come into your sport?
Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, I remember when I think there was a girl that was pitching on the mound and all the guys were striking out and they're like, oh my gosh, this was such a tough sport. We didn't realize how hard it was. So it was kind of refreshing to hear that from them. But also just such a cool experience to meet such amazing people and seeing them on TV doing their thing with football. It was just cool to be like, wow, I got to meet them and just have good conversations with them as well.
Talking about that tournament and just like looking at the past few seasons, like your career at Oregon, I mean, what are some of your favorite moments about being part of this team?
I just think it's the friendships for me. I just think every time we're on the road, there's always just so much laughter and different stories. I just remember one time we were stuck in the bus on the road and like we were just trying to get out. Just little things like that you never forget. And I think all the hours we put in together and you see it show up for something bigger, I think that's just cool to see and one of my favorite memories.
Hey, Paige, since Lindsay's gone after you, what have you seen from her in practice?
Yeah, no, Lindsay's just a competitor. I remember back in the fall, I hit a home run off of her, and then literally the next at-bat when I got back, she struck me out. And it was just that competition between us, like, oh, like, you're not getting that again. And so I just love that. She's just making me better, making others better. I think this year we talk about iron sharpening iron, and she does that for every single girl in our locker room. And I think that's something you're going to see this year, and she's going to excel. And she's one of the best pitchers I've ever seen. So I'm really excited for our pitching staff and Lindsay to just be a duck.